And
We're good.
I'm delighted to be here and to have this opportunity to share with you. This is a chair yoga practice, and although we can do a lot using the chair standing for balance, today's class is going to be seated only. And I know you'll be delighted to discover, if you're new to the class, just how full a practice we can have seated in the chair. Let's get started by finding a comfortable sitting position. Sit in a way that you feel the most at ease. It can be challenging for our nervous system to calm down if we're uncomfortable in our bodies. Roll your shoulders back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side. It feels comfortable for you. As ready, an invitation to close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable, or soft gaze downwards. Our attention moves inward. And notice the alignment of your knees, hips, ankles, shoulders over your hips. Chin in, parallel with the floor. If it's helpful, you can place 2 fingers on your chin. Imagine a turtle. And then when you're ready, if you'd like, bring a gentle awareness to your breath. Placing one hand on your yoga belly. Maybe noticing that as we inhale, belly moves out. On exhale, belly moves in. Maybe placing another hand on your chest, on your heart center, and noticing the pattern of movement of the breath between your abdomen and your upper torso. And maybe changing placements of your hands. And then see if you can invite the breath to be just a little bit longer than it was when we began. Notice the exhale. And when we lengthen our exhale, it engages the relaxation response, allowing us to let go of holding, stress, and tension. I'd like to encourage you during your yoga practice today, whenever possible, to bring your awareness back to this deep, easeful breath. And so it's ready. If your eyes are closed, gradually blink your eyes open. And we are falling awake, not asleep. Falling awake, not asleep. At this time, I'd like to invite you to, if you know that balance is a challenge for you, to make sure that you have what you need to keep yourself stable in your chair, whatever device. I'm hugely encouraging participants to use yoga props, whatever you might have around the house. So it might be a cushion. If that, you have a rolled up yoga mat or a nice cushion that you can put along your spine, that can feel amazing, supportive. What else have I got here today? A blanket is always lovely. That can be placed on our lap. That can encourage a grounding sensation. Can sometimes help with fatigue. It is not one size fits all. So of course we are live. I am really not able to see very many of you or meet with you in person. And so I'm trusting that you're taking good care of yourself, and which would lead me to share that you are the world expert on your body. making sure that you have whatever you need to set yourself up comfortably. And I think last week, well, I know actually I encouraged folks to maybe bring something from nature to the yoga class with you that helps ground you. So I did bring a little bowl today, some of my favorite things to reach out and pick up. So it could be a shell, could be a feather, maybe it's a flower. I actually have a little pine cone here too. And yeah, I'm situated in Half Moon Bay on the Sunshine Coast, a rural community, so pretty much surrounded by trees and lots of elements of nature. If you're practicing indoors, you might have a plant nearby, maybe your pet. Most of us are practicing from home. So moving on, an invitation to ground down through your feet, center and ground through the soles of your feet. Or maybe it's ground down through your sits bones, noticing where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Lengthen your spine. Roll your shoulders back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, whoever feels most comfortable for you. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And it's ready, an invitation to bring your hands together, rub your palms together a little. Take your hands apart, notice a little warmth or heat. Rub your palms together again. And there is research now that shows what we have always known, that our hands are not only connected to our heart, but to our mind as well. And so as you're rubbing your hands together, I'd like you to notice where in your body you're holding stress and tension, and see if you can take some of the loving energy from your hands and place them on that part of your body. Open to receive, to absorb that loving energy from your hands. And it's ready, bring your hands together again. And this time as you're rubbing your palms together, maybe think of a new place where you're holding stress and tension, and place your hands there. Open to receive. Moving on, I'd like to actually apologize. I'm not sure, our neighbors are actually doing renos and I can hear their voices clearly. And I'm not sure if that translates well or not, if you're able to hear them, if it's disruptive or not. Please let me know. Kassar, if it's disruptive, let me know and I'll try and adjust things so that it's less distracting.
No, we can hear it, but I don't think it's that like interfering. It's not that loud.
Oh, okay, great. Thanks, Kassar. Awesome. So let's roll our shoulders back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable for you. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. From here, I'd like to invite you to take 3 deep breaths. So unless you're congested, or you might have an obstruction, so in which case you breathe whatever way you can. However, if you're able to breathe in through your nose, we'll take 3 deep breaths here. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. And one more. Inhale. Exhale. From here, let's transition into warm-ups, beginning with our head. Bring your chin gently towards your chest. When you feel your neck is ready, begin to turn a soft gaze looking upwards. Maybe your eyes meet where the ceiling meets the wall. So we are moving into a warm-up for cervical spine or neck. And so it's as if you're nodding yes. And bring your head back to neutral, to center. If any of the neck movements, one of them, any of them don't feel comfortable for you, I'd like to encourage you to explore visualizing the movement today. So we know that imagination is powerful, and that might be a lovely starting point. As ready, bring your one ear towards your shoulder and move your head back and forth from side to side. As ready, bring your head back center and then turn a soft gaze looking towards your shoulder. Only turn your head as far as feels comfortable for you. In your time, in your rhythm, turn your head from side to side, as if nodding no. As ready, bring your head back to neutral, to center. And we have moved our neck through its 3 planes of movement. Now I'd like to invite you to continue with a practice called cat and cow, moving down along the spine. So for this practice, what I'd like to do is have you facing me so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to turn sideways on my chair so that hopefully you're able to get a better visual with what's going on with the spine. So mostly the focus with this cat and cow movement, particularly, and we're wanting to get into our upper back, so the thoracic area of our spine. And so just gonna have to take a little step. Okay. So cat and cow. If you have been doing your practice for a while, you might be very familiar with the cat and cow movement, in which case feel free to close your eyes. Closing your eyes can be interesting as long as you're stable in your chair. And so it's ready, an invitation to round your back. As you round your back, draw your chest in. So it's as if our sternum is moving towards the back of our ribs. I like to place my hand on my chest. And then when you're ready, arch your back. So the sternum lifts, moves forward, open up your solar plexus, your heart, your throat. And continuing in your own time and rhythm. Move in a way that feels natural for you. So natural that your movements and your breath become one. And you might notice that as we arch our back, our hands naturally have a tendency to slide in towards our hips. And as we exhale, that feels okay. Rounding your back, drawing your sternum in, the hands naturally slide towards our knees. If your skin is super sensitive, feel free to maybe hover above your legs a little bit. So cat and cows, we arch our back. This is the cow piece. Moo. I think of the cows back home in Quebec on the farm, or the cows in India when I teach this. cow piece. So inhale, arch, cow, moo. On the exhales, we round our back, happy cat, meow. When you're ready, finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. I'll turn my chair so that I'm facing you. Take a moment. And then from here, an invitation to reach one hand down towards the earth. So as if you're reaching to pick something up. Feel free to hold on to the opposite side of the chair wherever you need to feel stable and balanced. We want our shoulders to be lined up with shoulder. Imagine that you're seated between two panes of glass, if that feels okay for you. And then move from side to side, keeping both sits bones on the chair. So it might feel good to exhale as you reach towards the floor. Breathe in, come back center, exhale to the other side. Or maybe today it feels good to exhale to one side, inhale, exhale to the other side. So if you're congested or you have an obstruction, breathe in whatever way you can. You might notice that as we warm up, the movements become perhaps more easeful. We're able to go a little bit deeper. As ready, finish up the movement that you're on. Bring your arms back to wherever feels comfortable for you. So it might be resting on your lap or by your side. And then an invitation to join me in a practice called a twist. And so I encourage you to move towards your 50%. So as ready, sitting up nice and tall, invitation to lengthen your spine. I like to have my hand in the front of my spine. And so twisting, moving up one vertebrae at a time. So your hand might slide towards your head. And then we'll move dynamically, twisting from side to side. This is a gentle twist. We're not going to our full range. And see if you can avoid the temptation or the urge to turn your neck to its full range. I'm going to encourage you to keep your head in line with your spine. As ready, finish up the movement that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. Relax your arms wherever feels comfortable for you. And then an invitation to take a few moments to notice, how's your breath? Our old friend, our breath. Notice any subtle sensations. Trust that the sensations are there. It's not going to be a rocket ship across the sky or on the Sunshine Coast, a float plane hovering above. So depending on where you are. And so moving on, I'd like to invite you to repose. So ground down through your feet, centering ground through the soles of your feet. We want to keep our connection with Mother Earth. We tend to start losing. We're down to your sits bones, maybe noticing where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Maybe even doing a little bum dance. You can move the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. Lengthen your spine. Did you know that we can create space between our vertebrae, and most of us are tallest in the morning? So I don't know about you, but for me, by the end of the day, this is exaggerated. Yeah, so sitting up nice and tall, like spine, roll your shoulders back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels comfortable. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And from here, invitation to tap your fingers with them resting where they are. And maybe exploring tapping from your pinkies to your thumbs. So micro movements, visualizing the movements, focusing on what we can do. So maybe exploring moving from your thumbs to your pinkies. These movements, hand movements, can be challenging. We are not accustomed to moving our hands in this way. And how about a little air piano? So we all have our own sense of rhythm. So rhythm is one of the things, or one of the sensations I hope you experience in your yoga practice today. And then as ready, rotate your wrists. And most of us use our hands more than our feet. I'd like to encourage you to maybe take a look at your hands with appreciation for all that they do. And then see if you can slow the movements down. Mindful movements. If you notice your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, know that that's okay. That's the nature of our mind. Simply bring your awareness back to your movements. And then as ready, rotate your wrists in the opposite direction. And if you'd like, imagine that you're moving your hands through water. As ready, push your hands away. Pull your hands back. So your arms through this movement can be as high or low as you'd like. So you might be sliding along your legs. I'm okay with my arms about midway between my legs and my shoulders. So move in your own time and rhythm. Push your hands away. Pull your hands back. Push your hands away. Pull your hands back. If you need to, adjust your seating a little bit. So with this lovely movement, not only are we getting into the major joints in our arms, we're also getting into that area on the inside and outside of our shoulder blades. So it's like we're giving our back a little massage. Push your hands away, pull your hands back. And now I'd like to invite you to join me for a yoga swim. So we're going to jump right in today. Arms as high or low as you'd like. So we'll start freestyle. As ready, let's explore backstroke. So for those of you who are not swimmers, encourage you to move in whatever way feels comfortable for you. And I know for sure there's some pretty serious swimmers out there too. I've learned a lot from you. The chair yoga swim. We'll see how that translates in the ocean or a pool. And so push your hands away. I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. So breaststroke. And then side stroke. Whoosh. Other side. So feel free to come out of the movements and the poses today at any time you'd like, or on my cue. You can come back into it or not. You might just come back to your breath or rest. And then how about we'll finish up with butterfly. So this I do not encourage in the pool. It can be quite complicated apparently. I had no idea. Nice. And then allow your arms to float down by your side or in your lap, wherever feels comfortable. And notice how you feel. Notice any subtle sensations. Can you name the sensation? Maybe what you're feeling is a little fatigue. Maybe it's a little more energy than you were feeling before we started the class. Perhaps it's an energy. I know a friend suggested that when he practices yoga, often he feels a hum, an energy moving along his spine. And so, no judgment. Yoga meets us exactly where we are. So moving forward, speaking of moving forward, I'd like to come into a movement to hopefully help with our balance. And so this is a part where if you know balance is a challenge, make sure you have whatever device you need to keep you stable in your chair. And so I have sandals on my feet. I'm going to kick them off for this part. And so I know you can't see my feet. And I would like to share that traditionally yoga is practiced barefoot. However, that said, some of us need our shoes for stability. You might be a little embarrassed about your feet. Depending where you're located. I know back in Ontario and here on the West Coast, Sunshine Coast particularly, Lower Mainland, there can be a real problem with ticks. So being really mindful about bare feet, which I think are lovely, and a time and the place. So moving on, ground down through your feet, centering ground through the soles of your feet. Ground down to your sits bones. Maybe notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Lengthen your spine. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then from here, we'll move into movement where you're holding the underside of the chair, wherever you need to feel stable and balanced. And I'd like to invite you to lengthen your spine and then hinging from the hips, come forward. So only coming forward about 20%. So you might, with a flat back. So you might notice when you come forward, sometimes your chin wants to jut up. So I'm going to encourage you to tuck your chin in slightly and then rock back up. So let's explore continuing with this gentle movement. Forward and back. And it can be interesting to close your eyes as we practice these gentle movements, if you feel stable in your chair. So there is something about this movement that our nervous system, maybe not always, but frequently our nervous system likes. And could it be that mostly our bodies are made up of water? I think it's 75%. Or sometimes think about the time we were in the womb. As ready, finish up the move that you're on. Come on back to a neutral spine. And from here, if possible, I'd like you to walk your feet out. So you might toe heel a little bit so that your knees are a little wider than outer hip bone distance. Okay for your toes to be turned out. And then again, so hands at your hips perhaps, or holding a chair. An invitation to circle your heart forward and circle back. So your circles might be larger or smaller than mine. And so moving in your own time and rhythm. Bring a gentle awareness to the space beside you. Notice how you feel. Bring your awareness to the space in front of you. And bring your awareness to the space above you. And especially, an invitation to take your awareness to the space behind you. And moving away from me to we, to trust that we are being supported. And slowly come on back to a neutral spine. If you brought your feet a little wider than outer hip bone distance, walk them back so that your feet are comfortably hip distance apart. And take a moment or two to notice how you feel. How's your breath? So our old friend, our breath. Notice any subtle sensations. So from here, I'd like to invite you to sitting up nice and tall, to bring, with your hands resting where they are, reach your arm up in line with your shoulder. If that feels too high, too intense, adjust and lower your arm to wherever it feels comfortable for you. And then an invitation to spiral your palm open. So palm face up and then palm face down, rolling your thumb towards the earth, the floor. So notice which feels better for you, palm face up or palm face down. As ready, turn your palm face up and then extend your arm away. Bring your arm back center, palm face down. So begin again, fin again. Other side, reach up, spiral your palm open. So let's do this again. Let's explore on this side. Palm up, palm down. Which feels better for you, palm up or down? And then turn your palm face up if that feels okay for you. And bring your arm away from you. Let's meet back at center. Palm face down, release. I'd like to continue with an invitation to continue the gentle movement. This time, however, if it feels okay for your neck, when you bring your arm out to the side, turn a soft gaze looking past your middle finger. And let's explore adding a sound to the movement. So of course we know sound has a vibration, and the sound today that I've chosen is shh. Shh. Yes. And so that the sound shh, I've learned from my students, can be calming if you have spasms. I know for me, I have an intention tremor. It can be helpful because it's calming for the nervous system. And so here we go. Reach up, spiral your palm open. So if it doesn't feel good to turn your head, keep a soft gaze forward. Alternatively, gazing past your middle finger as you extend your arm away from you, make the sound shh. Bring your arm back center, palm face down, release. Other side, reach up. So you might be visualizing the movement today. Maybe you have a friend, a yoga buddy that can help guide. Exhale, shh. Bring your arm back center, palm face down, release. Let's do a few more times on each side. Reach up, spiral your palm open. Moving with grace and ease, extend your arm away from you. Shh. Bring your arm back center, palm face down, release. So you might find that as we warm up, you might feel that you're able to go a little deeper. So you bring your arm away from you, make the sound shh. Bring your arm back center, palm face down, release. Arms by your side or on your lap, take a moment. You might do a little wiggly fidget, kind of readjust. So I always say be creative. So one of the things that I learned in my yoga training is that creativity can help with anxiety. And so Don't take my word for it. Investigate. Notice how you feel. Moving on, let's repose. So at this time, if it's possible, I'd like you to come away from the back of the chair enough. Find a space where you're supporting your own spine. If you need the back of the chair for support today, honor that. Yoga meets us exactly where we are. An invitation now to see if you can come forward enough so that you're able to sit forward on your sits bones, the bones we sit on. We do a little bum dance. Notice how that feels. So feet are placed evenly on the floor, on your footrest, your foot plate. Sits bones are sharp on the chair. Lengthen your spine. So a gentle reminder, tuck your chin in slightly. Roll your shoulders back and down. Soft, organic movements, nothing rigid. So hopefully we're letting go of some of that morning stiffness. Okay? Hopefully minimizing pain. And so from here, an invitation to bring your hands together in prayer pose at your heart center. So it might be palms together, palms open. If this placement of your hands makes you lose your balance, choose another placement for your hands. We never forfeit balance to come into a pose or movement. So alternatively, it might feel good to have your hands at your yoga belly. So this next practice is called, well, it's a gentle chest opener and a meditation on the heart. And so sun breath. So here we go. As you're ready, if you'd like, and you can do one arm at a time. Maybe you have a yoga buddy that's guiding the movements. And then bring your hands back to your heart center or your yoga belly. And so in your own time and rhythm, reach your arms up and away. And then as you bring your hands back to your heart center, your yoga belly, make soft fists. So this can be good if you have arthritis in your hands. Inhale, extend your arms up and away. So I feel good with my arms a little lower than my shoulders. Maybe yours are higher, lower. And bringing our hands back to our heart center. Bowing our head towards our heart can give us a little nerve flossing for our neck. So if you'd like, as we continue this gentle heart opener, imagine the sun at your heart center. On your inhales, as you extend your arms up and away, imagine the radiant light of the sun radiating out all around you. And then gather that light and bring it back inside. It's a symbol of the light that's always inside us. Inhale, extend your arms up and away. And this time, as we bring our hands back to our heart, I want to call it Buddha belly, but yoga belly, make a humming sound like a bumblebee. So bumblebee breath is a yogic breathing technique. And you might notice that it lengthens our exhale. Inhale. Bumblebee breath. Place one hand on your yoga belly, the other on your chest. And notice the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And a little shake up. So I did not bring a timepiece today other than my cell phone, in which I'm viewing you with, and you're able to see me. So I'm actually going to need to lean in and take a look at the time. I know we all have amazing busy lives. And so if you'll pardon me for a moment, I generally have a watch nearby. I can't tell. I think I'm in sync. It feels like anyways. And my intention was to end the class a little bit earlier today so that we can have more of a conversation Q&A after if you'd like to stick around for a little bit. So I'm just gonna trust my intuitive nature. We'll do a few more poses and movements. So today's practice, there's been a lot of heat, figuratively 12:45. Thank you, Kassar. My techos. Just cued in what time it is, so that's perfect. So let's continue. I want to make the most of our time together. Roll your shoulders back and down. Relax your arms in your lap or by your side, wherever feels most comfortable. And maybe walk your feet forward a little bit if you need to. And so I'd like to invite you to place your feet so that they're hip distance apart, feet parallel. And then to notice, so plane overhead, to notice how that placement of your feet feels. So does it feel comfortable? In other words, stable? So it is not one size fits all. If that placement of your feet feels comfortable for you, wonderful. If it doesn't, place your feet whatever way works for you. Okay. And so an invitation now to look down at your feet, ground down through your feet, center and ground through the soles of your feet. Maybe even tapping or wiggling your toes a little bit. And then an invitation to push down through one foot and then push down through your other foot. And notice, can you feel one foot more than the other? So that might maybe have something to do with your hips. Then we ground down through our sits bones. Lengthen the spine, shoulders back and down. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. From here, I'd like to come into a practice called lion's breath. So yogic breathing technique again, which I think I shared last week. And I've been having fun sharing it recently. It's come up again. And so lion's breath is a way to let go of toxins, stress, and so on. And the way it is practiced is like you can imagine that your hands are feline claws, paws and claws. You're sitting up nice and tall. So I'll demo first. If you've done lion's breath before, you know where I'm going. Otherwise, feel free to watch first of all. And so feline claws, sitting up tall. And then as you're ready, you breathe in. And as you breathe out, your claws come out, your tongue comes out on your chin, and your eyes roll back. So let's do this a few more times. So feline claws, pause. Breathe in, breathe out. And the interesting thing that I found out, and of course more will be revealed if you have different and new information for me, it's not really meant to be a big boring sound. And so exhale. Get stuck. I can see there's some lions out there for sure. So I'd like to do a practice now to release some of the tension in our face. Most of us are holding a lot of tension in our face these days, particularly our jaw. And so for this, let's just come seated comfortably back in the chair. So you're still sitting up nice and tall, you're alert, however you're comfortable. And we'll transition into what I refer to as face yoga. And so an invitation to open your mouth wide and release. So not really pretty faces. However, no one can see you unless your camera's turned on, and today there's very few. So here we go. Open your mouth wide again. This time, see if you can bring your lips over your teeth. Release. And when you're ready, see if you can draw all your facial muscles towards your nose. Just bit into a lemon. And relax. If you'd like, bring a soft fist up to your jaw. You can hold your arm if that's helpful. And then create resistance. Switch sides. So we don't want to create lockjaw. When you're ready, reach one arm up and over. Take your hand to the side of your head and create resistance. So you're reaching across to the other side of your head. Yeah. And switch sides. Create resistance. As ready, release your arm down. And then make a soft fist. Take it up to your middle of your forehead. So front part of our brain, when we put gentle pressure here, it can be calming for our nervous system. And then as you're ready, interlace your fingers or bring your hands to the back, the base of your skull. This is a place where if you have a yoga buddy, it can be helpful for them to place their hands back there. If you are a wheelchair user and you have a headrest, it might feel good to press your head gently against your headrest. So we're pressing our head gently against our hands. And release. Okay. So I think I'll just share one more practice as a way to self-regulate, calm our nervous system. And so this is one of my faves. You can put this in your yoga toy box. So you might take a couple fingers, reach across to the opposite eyebrow. And then from the inside of your eyebrow, sweep out towards your temple. And then down behind your ear, along your neck, your shoulder, and sweep down your arm. So let's repeat this on the other side. So you're reaching across, opposite eyebrow to arm, sweep along till you get to your temple, then behind your ear, down along your neck, your shoulder, your arm, sweep. So let's do this one more time on each side, and I'm here if you need me for a visual. I'll cue you, and yeah, hopefully this is a lovely experience for you. So we're reaching across, sweeping along our eyebrow, temple, behind the ear, neck, shoulders, sweep. And one last time. Sweeping along our eyebrow, temple, behind your ear. Tuck your chin in slightly. Notice how that feels. Sweep down along your neck. Same side, your shoulder, your arm, and release. Good stuff. Okay, so I think it's time to transition into just a short guided meditation and your final relaxation. So Kausar, do give me the heads up if it looks like I'm not doing things in a timely fashion. I can see I'm close enough to the iPad or iPhone. So we're sitting comfortably still, however, we are alert. And for this meditation, I'd like to invite you to place your hands palms face down on your lap. If placing your palms face down doesn't work for you, place your hands in whatever way feels okay for you. Draw your hands in towards your hips. Look down and into your heart. See what you can see. I'd like to offer you 3 grounding techniques during your meditation today to choose from for grounding sensations. One of them would be your breath. And so I'll begin with that, and then I'll offer the other 2 options. And so look down into your heart, see what you can see, and then breathe into your heart. So breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I release. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. So alternatively, if you'd like to explore using the soundscape around you, bring a gentle awareness to the sound furthest away from you. Bring your awareness to the sound closest to you. Maybe you can hear the sound of your breath, the sound of your heartbeat. And then take your awareness to the sound between furthest away and closest to you. Lastly, as a grounding technique, if you'd like, imagine a gentle sense of gravity pulling your shoulders down away from your ears, grounding you down through your feet. So center and ground through the soles of your feet. So keeping our connection with Mother Earth. So whatever grounding technique you've chosen, I'd like to invite you to spend a few moments with a gentle reminder in your meditation practice. In our meditation practice. So moving away from me to we. And so whatever you chose for your meditation today, I'd like to invite you to bring your awareness back to your breath. And then we'll just sit for a moment or two in a comfortable seat for your final relaxation. And so have whatever support you need. If you're able to recline in your chair, go for it. So make sure your neck is supported. And so you might have a little bit of weight with a blanket on your lap, even your pet, if you have a pet. And so eyes are closed softly, focused inward, or soften your gaze downwards. Relax your hands, palms face up or down as desired. Roll your shoulders back and down. So this is not kind of a big scrunch up towards our ears. Essentially, we're inviting our shoulders to soften away from our ears. Relax your jaw, unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. Soften around your temple so you can touch the areas. I'm curious if that feels good for you. Wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on inhale, saying let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. If it's challenging to quiet the mind, placing our hands on our yoga belly and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. And without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Thank your body. Thank your body again. Our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. And now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes if you'd like, hands and feet. If your eyes are closed, gradually blink your eyes open. So, invitation now. Thank you, Kausar, for the heads up with the time. And so an invitation to take a look around the beautiful space that you're in. And name 3 objects that you see to bring us back. So to make those neural connections. Thank you, everyone. Notice how you feel before and after yoga. Questions or feedback, always love to hear from you. So I have been given a heads up by Kausar. I can hang out for a little bit longer if you'd like. And so notice how you feel before and after yoga. So not just right after the class, but the next day or 2. And so if you're not feeling it, it might be that you didn't work hard enough. Work/play. If you're still feeling after a day or 2, maybe you worked and played too hard. And so the teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. Thank you. And so at this time, I'll open it up for any conversation if you'd like. And I'm just going to move in a little closer to the iPad or iPhone. So looks like that we're good to go.
Yeah, you're good too.
Good to go. What time is it, Kausar?
1 or 2.
Oh, pretty good with your help. I'm getting better. Yeah. It's progress, not perfection. Bye, everyone. Cheers.
I'll see you guys next week.
Righto. Thanks, Kausar.
Bye.
Thanks.